Welcome back to Johnny Custom Front Site Press, where we have been on vacation so we can go trick or treat. Hi. So tonight we're going to go over the election match that I'm going to be on Shark Coast like Jeff was on their podcast. We're going to talk about all that. All right. So like, share, and comment. Go over if you haven't gone over to YouTube, okay, and gone to Musings with MGL. Head over there and go subscribe to that. Like the show, comment, even if you just put comment. And I know I shouldn't say that. Freaking Sean's heading over there right now. Comment. Yep, that's what I always do on everybody's. I just put great show. All right, because it just screws them. And what we're going to be doing, just to let you know, is we're going to be moving more towards Rumble. So we're going to be getting away from being censored and banned and put in jail, right? And so if you haven't gone over to Rumble, go check out Rumble.
YouTube jail, by the way. Nobody's been in an actual jail. YouTube jail. Although I do go, obviously, to jail to visit people, but I don't. Nobody's been in actual jail. Nobody in this house has an undocumented squirrel or an undocumented raccoon or anything that would require the government to come in our house.
The government is crazy. All right. So like, share, and comment, and we're going to spank the sponsors right now. All right. So our king sponsor, Johnny Custom Glocks, because life is way too short to have a Glock trigger that sucks. So get yourself a Johnny Custom Glocks trigger. All right. I got them on all my carry guns. Okay. That's what I defend my life and my family with. All right. It's the only one I trust. So go get yourself a Johnny Custom Glocks trigger. All right. Now, also, all right, if you're not following on any of the socials, all right, get out there and follow them. All right.
Maria wanted to know what it's called on Rumbles.
We put it back. Put the banner. There you go. Down bottom, rumble.com/C/musings with MGL. Why is there a C/?
That's, I don't know. It must be a Rumble thing. I don't know.
All right, there you go. All right, so there it is right there. All right, but Go check out Johnny Custom Glocks on his YouTubes. Follow him on Instagram like that, and show him some love because he's always showing us. That grams. All right. All right, thank you.
Link in the comments down below too, so you can go down to the link if you need to in the comments.
There you go.
Rumble.
Right.
Johnny Custom Glock.
Sean Hilton at smokeshow3d.com. All right.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, baby.
Woo!
Right. Getting yourself. He's always giving us all our giveaways, or almost all our giveaways. All right. We got some additional giveaways tonight. We're going to give away a coaster set. All right. All right. Not from Sean. I'm just saying before I forget. All right. So don't forget to head over to smokeshow3d.com if you haven't won anything. So if you can't get your name underneath one of the names that he has that's winning, then just head over there, use Fsp 10 to get yourself 10% off and get yourself a G-Lock stand or whatever gun you have. Ask him. All right. And get yourself an FSP armor's block. All right. Always saying these things are awesome. They really are. All right. And we want to thank Sean for not only winning everything that we have, but also delivering it. All right.
Providing all the things we give away.
Providing almost everything that we give away. All right. We'll also be, like I said, we're giving away one of these. A coaster set, right? Was donated and made by Jimmy Kemp. Not that we're trying to break any licensing stuff or anything. And then we're going to give away. We're starting right up again. How many do we got? Do we have any chances to win an hour on simulator already?
For September.
Or do we give them all away?
For September, we have Sean and Maria. August, we had Kat, Vern, and Sean.
Do we have any for October?
No.
All right.
This will be the first day for October.
All right. So we're going to crank up for November. So at the end of the month, we'll do it. All right. So we're going to give them 2 away tonight, 2 chances to win an hour. Okay. At the Self-Defense Emporium. All right. So there's all the stuff we're giving away tonight. Okay. So like, share, and comment, and don't forget to head over to the tube. Freaking dog.
Tube, Rumble,
The tube keeps
wherever.
My dog keeps knocking the door open and walking in with his head. He just hits the door and just was like boom, bang. He walks in. What are you doing?
That's why I don't understand when they came in to take that guy's squirrel and raccoon. He lives in New York. Why didn't he just tell them they identified as a dog and a cat? I really don't understand.
That's it.
Didn't seem complicated to me. Hey, sir, why are you taking my cat? No, that's a raccoon. No. He says he's a cat.
That's right.
Why are you taking
He identifies as a mitten.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Seemed like an easy solution to me. R.I.P. Peanut.
Did you see the one where the guy? You see the one where the guy is identified as a cat?
Oh gosh.
Well, there's driving a few of those guys out there.
The guy pulls him over. He says, "Well, I'm a cat, so I don't go by your laws," or something like that. Do you see that one? Like I don't know if it's real, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's probably a TikTok video, I would imagine, or a parody video. Although it's hard to tell the difference between real and parody videos these days. They're certainly making a lot of crazy. Most of the Babylon Bee articles are more real than the regular articles.
All right. So we're going to move over to the toast, and then we can start. Yeah, we actually got one. Julie, look one up. We have one.
Nice.
So get your beverage of choice.
My beverage of choice for this evening, Leftist Tears.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got me a full glass full of sweet Leftist Tears. They're so sweet.
All right.
Jimmy Kimmel's in here. Got some of Whoopi Goldberg's. Nice.
I would have thought they'd be bitter, not sweet.
Oh, no.
Sweet to him.
Tastes sweet to me.
All right, here we go. Ready? May the best day of your past be the worst day of your future.
I would have thought you would have unburned yourself by what has been or something in your toast, not necessarily past and future. The worst day of your life was 2 days ago.
It's just like, let me ask you this while we're talking about it. What stupidity do you think is going to happen? Do you think anything's going to happen?
No, they don't have the left doesn't do violence as a whole. What I mean by that is, I understand you had like the BLM riots and all that stuff, but that wasn't some democratic movement for riots. That was the same people who always riot. The people who just wanted to get free sneakers and burn shit because they were like bored on a Friday. It could have been about Black Lives Matter. It could have been because the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like that's just those people. And then you get the lone wolves that want to try and, assassinate you by themselves up on a sloped roof because you got shitty ass security. But as a whole, like you don't see like, your basic Democrat down the street coming out and doing some sort of riot and trying to take over buildings. So you're not going to see it. And then quite frankly, most of the people who do the riots are, your lower income, big city people live in like the large cities. And guess what? Like a large percentage of them voted for Donald Trump. So they're not going to go out there and burn their city because their guy won. So I don't think you're going to see any sort of violence or scariness or nonsense or anything along those lines. You might still see an assassination attempt or two over the next 4 years. I wouldn't put all those things aside, but any sort of like mass organized attack on Washington D.C. or burning down, stores in Philadelphia. I don't think you're going to see that.
You don't think Antifa is going to raise their ugly head?
When's the last time you've seen Antifa? Like they vanished off the map. I mean, they may come back now, but the other thing is a lot of Antifa people were like white college kids, and Trump won like 30% of white college kids. So it's kind of like a lot of those people who are usually involved in that kind of stuff actually, kind of swung over to Trump. I don't think it's as cool to be Antifa anymore as it was, 3 years ago. It's more cool now on campus to be a Trump supporter, I think. So could they pop up and do something stupid? Maybe. But again, those weren't people who were rioting for political reasons. They just wanted to riot because they're bored and have nothing else to do. So I don't think so. I mean,
Shark Coast Tactical's podcast with Wick on it. Did you watch that? Like I'm the next week. I'm on this week coming up, so I think it's Tuesday night they release it or whatever. But
yeah,
like I think I'm like the hangover cure from being with Wick. But Wick was talking about that, and he says, that you have a riot and you have 20% of the people are actual passionate about the cause, and 80% of the people just are bored and had nothing to do.
Correct.
He talked a lot about, like, if you have questions about January 6th, watch that podcast and watch Wick talk about what actually happened there. Because, it's funny, Wick's like talking about being up front, being like, telling the cops, look, I know you got a job to do. I'm not here to cause any problems. Coming from a guy in friggin' camouflage with a friggin' vest on, right? And a helmet. Like, I'm not here to cause any problems.
I'm just here to peacefully protest. Yeah.
Like, I love you and everything, but I don't know how much you're getting away with that one.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see. It wouldn't surprise me if something happened over the next 4 years to cause riots again. It's not going to be because of the election, though. Like, it's not going to happen today or tomorrow. It's actually quiet out there. Like, nothing's going on. So I don't think it's going to be because of the election. In a year and a half, could there be another weird police shooting or some strange Occupy Wall Street movement? I don't know. There could be any sort of event that touches off one of those things, but it's not going to be organized because of this election.
I don't know. I don't think this is over. Like, I don't think they're just going to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, because here's the deal. There's a lot of people that have a lot to lose when Trump gets in office.
Yeah, but they don't riot.
Yeah, but they pay people to riot. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous how much of a landslide blowout this election was. You know what I mean? And they're not just going to give up all the power they had, because look what they got away with the last friggin' 8 years with the stupid shit. Especially in the last 4 years where they support stuff. You know what I mean? Like, when Tim friggin' Tampon Tim is supporting them burning down the capital city of his state. I mean, when dipshit is setting up a fund to help out friggin' these rioters, right? To get out of jail, get bailed out and stuff like that. It's like how does that even happen in a modern society where the leaders act like that and get away with it?
So Corey wants to know, what's the chance of Trump finishing the wall at the southern border between Mexico and the United States? I would say it's pretty good.
I say it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean, he didn't get it done last time, though, and he had a majority in the Senate and the House in his first 2 years, and he couldn't get it through. They could try some reconciliation stuff this time, maybe. But you still have to have 60 votes in the Senate to get most legislation through, and that's funding, which comes through monetary bills that have to originate from the House. So I mean, I think he'll try, just like last time. He just on his own moved, $20 million out of various accounts and just started building it. So if he's serious about it, he's got 4 years. He can get it done. But they were pretty successful at blocking him last time. So we'll see
Yeah,
how
but
it
he
goes.
didn't have any support from anywhere last time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he had zero support. You know what I mean? Like the media, always trying to hang him. All the Republicans fighting against him. It's like this. He just I just want to see him go on a warpath. I know I shouldn't
Well, he does
say
seem to
that.
have a lot more. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's like this. Like my whole theory on this is that we should all try to freaking get along for once, right? We shouldn't be
Sure.
as divided as we are. And it's like this. My perfect America, I wouldn't vote for because I don't think it's fair to everybody. You know what I mean? Like I don't want the country to be, the United States of Mike. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that not everybody appreciates what I appreciate. That's it. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I think everybody should give and take a little bit with each other and see if we can, get back together as a country, because it's supposed to be us against the government, not the government telling us who we should hate. We just need to, we will accomplish a lot more together than we will apart.
Bruce Curlin says everyone is now in favor of the border, including the Democrats, with such a huge invasion.
Well, yeah, because now they look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, no, I mean, I think your rank and file Democrats on the street do. I still think your establishment Democrats would still love an open border, and they're not gonna vote for a wall. Like they're not gonna vote for a wall, and they won't need them as long as they get enough people in the House, which are still kind of outstanding. But the elites are never going to agree with it. But clearly, the rank and file, their traditional style Democrats on the street you don't like the immigration shit that's going on. So yeah, I mean, he probably has a little bit more support for something like a wall now because of the craziness. I mean, they let in 10 million people over the last 4 years, so I think a lot of people have come around on the wall. He certainly has a lot more Republican support than he did going in, because a lot of those guys didn't like him originally.
Right.
Cheney's of the world or whatever, but now they're all gone because they got kicked out of the party over the last 4 years. So it seems like he should have a lot more support. Plus, winning the popular vote and everything else, he can have a mandate behind him. So I hope it's true. I mean, it should be pretty simple. Why doesn't Elon just fucking donate $100 million to the government to go build a wall? Go around Congress.
Hey, you never know
fucking
what
give us $100 million to build a wall.
You never know what he's going to do. You never know. It's like his,
Right.
I didn't like him when he was like not on my team. We'll just put it this way.
Welcome to.
But now that he's on my
right?
team, I really appreciate his I don't really give a fuck attitude. Like, what are you going to do to him?
Well, it's always nice to have fuck you money, because then you can do whatever else and whatever you want. Nobody cares. Because I mean, it is funny because 10 years ago, a lot of the people on the right didn't like him because he was a little bit of a shyster. He was pushing the the green stuff, and he had a lot of weird, shady government contracts and stuff. But all the people on the left thought he was great because he was going to save the planet and everything else. And then now, 10 years later, like everybody on the left hates him and everybody on the right likes him. It's funny how that works.
We like him because he's a patriot. What did Pickle say?
Pickle said you could see the media.
He's not even American. He's South African.
I don't think he'll be as brutal this time. The Musts and Rogans are the media most listened to now.
Yep.
He's African American. He's not American. He's African. He's South African.
That's right. He is African American.
It is true.
He is. He's African American.
Yep.
Well,
that's certainly one thing that's true. The so-called legacy media, mainstream media, whatever you want to call it, like they're done. Like they were already done. Nobody was watching them anyway, but they're certainly done now because of all the fake stories they were running and all the bullshit stuff. Nobody was watching them. Their polls were wrong again. So certainly,
it's a shocker.
Yeah, the days of they're done. They got nothing. Everybody's gonna get their news from podcasts and YouTube and alternative sites. So it's going to be kind of one of those weird things. Just like late night TV hosts are all, nobody watches them. Nobody watches SNL. Like all that stuff is gone. Everybody can find all that shit on YouTube. They go to Musings with MGL and they can see all that kind of cool shit.
There you go. Yeah. Like we did.
So it's interesting.
Last week.
So I don't think there's going to be any violence as it relates to this. I understand what you're saying about people giving up power. But I think there's ways for them to try and not give up power without funding riots. But again, they're not going to do it over the election because they're just not. That doesn't mean that they're going to pull some weird, again, event, some transgender kid's going to get beat up or something, or there's going to be another, again, police shooting or some weird thing that they're just going to latch onto and, fuel the fire of something along those lines. And when it's July, it's 110 degrees out and everybody's hot and bored. Could something weird like that happen again? Sure. I don't disagree. Like there weren't any riots when Trump won the first time. There was all those women in the street screaming and wearing their pink hats, but nobody was burning down things or breaking in the buildings. It was, 2 years or 3 years into it that the George Floyd stuff started happening and the Antifa thing started happening. And they just kind of started latching on to anything they could because that was coming up on the election season and they wanted to throw more chaos in there on top of the COVID stuff. So could they do something like that as it gets in the middle of his administration or towards the end of it? That wouldn't surprise me. I don't see anything happening over the next 2 months though while we transition, especially since it's all kumbaya. All of a sudden,
every time they had something that was bad for them, then there's a riot to take away from what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, and again, it's all kumbaya. I mean, Joe Biden just came out and invited Hitler to the White House for coffee and tea. I mean, he literally just came out. Yeah, today. Well, yeah, he called Trump like yesterday, invited him to the White House for coffee and to talk about the transition. Trump accepted. And then when he came out and gave his speech today, he said, oh, we lost the election, but we're going to be okay. The country's going to be okay. Well, fucking 3 weeks ago, you said the day after he got elected, the country was going to be a dictatorship and everybody was going to go to jail. And now he invited him to the White House for tea and coffee. It kind of makes you wonder if they really weren't serious about a lot of those things they were saying. But yeah, Hitler's going to the White House for coffee. Go figure.
Yeah. Well, it's like this. They obviously had something on Biden, right? When he put the Trump hat on, he probably caught a lot of heat, stuff like that. I mean, they stabbed him in the back. I mean, it wasn't like
they stabbed him in the front,
in the front.
It wasn't even secret. Like everybody saw it happen. Like everybody saw it happen in live time.
There's another thing. They performed a coup right in front of everybody, and no one said anything. I'm like, they can't do that. She got 0 freaking votes. You know what I mean? Like, picture this. Yeah. Picture DeSantis. DeSantis wins, right? So he's going to run for president. And then the Republican Party says, you know what? We like him as a governor, so we're just going to put Trump in instead of DeSantis. And I'm sure everybody would have just said, oh, okay, let's get on with the election.
Yeah. Well, people don't like Trump. Would have.
Like the only reason Republicans didn't say anything because they knew what a loser she was.
Well, right. They were saying from the beginning that she'd probably be easier to beat than him, and I think it probably turned out to be true. Look, Joe Biden, the second most happiest person on the planet today that Kamala Harris lost that election is Joe Biden.
Right.
Because now he gets to walk around and brag about the fact that he's the only one that ever beat Trump. Hillary, the Clinton machine couldn't do it. They kicked him out and put Harris in there. She got her ass kicked even worse than the Clinton ass kicking does. So he can walk around the rest of his life and be like, yeah, I'm the only one who beat him. I told you motherfuckers that I was the only one who could beat him, and you stabbed me in the back. So he's the second happiest person on the planet. Fucking his wife was wearing a red suit when she went to vote for the other day. I mean, come on. Like,
I'd like to see who she voted
called
for.
Him up. Yeah, he called him up before Kamala Harris even conceded. He was the first person to call him and say, hey, come to the White House for coffee. They're going to sit there and they're going to laugh their fucking asses off at that bitch because they're going to just think it's hilarious.
Yep. He's all been. It's like this. As much as I hate Biden, and I hate him, I think he is a just despicable
Sure.
human being.
Sure.
I don't like what they did to the sitting president of the United States.
Right.
Like,
Agreed.
I don't care if I do fucking hate him and didn't want him to run. I don't like what they did to the president. And I don't
That's
like
not how
that
you
they
do
got
it.
away with it,
Right.
is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't see why nobody, like, they could have put anybody in there.
Well,
They
yeah,
put
they
Dips,
could have. Well,
Newsom in there, or Newscomb.
the primary system is not in the Constitution. Like, the primary system is something that is kind of made up amongst the politicians, and it's whatever. So, like, they're not bound to follow any of that stuff. There doesn't have to be a primary. Theoretically, they could just say this is our nominee, and if you get enough of the delegates, there you go. So they could. And what's this? It was just kind of one of those gentleman agreement things where you're like, well, that's not how we do it. We always have a primary, and just for strategic reasons, it's good to do it because it gives your candidate practice. Like, if you can't make it through a primary by debating all those other people, taking the hard questions in the interviews, then you end up with somebody like Kamala Harris who can't fucking tell you her name because she's an idiot, because she's never gone through any sort of adversarial position. So you want to have a primary just because it gives you a stronger candidate on the backside. But they can certainly do it that way. And I'm with you. I don't like Biden at all, obviously. But, like, that's not how you do it. You don't just, like, force a guy out, blackmail him out, whatever they did to him to get him to leave, and then just decide, well, this is the person that we want, and then we're going to put her in there. It's not right. It's not the way it should happen. So it's just kind of one of those things. But look, they all get what they deserve. He gets what he deserves for being a senile old man that probably should have decided years earlier that he wasn't going to run a second term. She gets what she deserves because she's an idiot and just stepped right in there. George Clooney gets what he deserves because he writes nasty op-ed pieces. They all get what they deserve. That's why I'm drinking my liberal tears.
So are they all? So who's supposed to leave the country?
Cher,
She get money.
Rapinoe, and Whoopi.
Nobody.
Oh, Whoopi.
Although it was funny, the number one searched thing yesterday was how to move to Canada from America.
Get the fuck out. It ain't that hard. Get up.
Yeah,
Go.
that was the number one. That was the number one search Google term yesterday was how to move to Canada from America.
Get out.
See ya.
We don't want you here. Go. If you're a communist, go live up in communist land.
No kidding.
They seem to be having a great time up there with that dipshit.
Maria said she had heard that if they put someone in other than Harris, then they would have to give back all the money that was donated to Biden-Harris ticket because she was on the
That's
ticket.
true.
And they would keep use all
It's like
the money that was
150.
raised. It was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was 150.
Yeah, it was over.
million.
Well, it was over 100 million, which is so. I understand that they wanted her to have it so she can get the 100 million, but remember, she raised over $1 billion after she was nominated. So that 100 million didn't mean jack shit in the long run. Now, I guess maybe at the time they didn't know they were going to raise $1 billion or whatever. So I can kind of understand the thinking behind that, but she ended up raising over $1 billion afterwards. Look, they spent between her and super PACs $2.1 billion on a loss.
And they
It's not like they lost.
$1 billion for an L.
Got their asses handed to them like on a plate.
The worst loss in like 50 years, $2.1 billion for the worst L in like recent political history. And they outspent him 2-1. His campaign raised and spent about $500 million. They'd spent another $500 from super PACs and things like that. So yeah, they outspent him 2-1, and they lost by like the largest margin in like 50 years. So yeah, money doesn't goes to show it's a waste of time. So they fleeced all those people. Imagine you're one of those people that were like writing them big checks just for that, which is what, again, they get what they deserve. They should have known that was a waste of money, and that's what they get.
I talked to one of my friends the other day at lunch, and he's a Democrat, and just to listen to him talk, it was like, what are you getting your facts from? Oh, look, I can look it up. Here it is. Look, it's like, all right, that's great, but it's like my favorite one I've seen is Democrats shocked to find out that women buy eggs and milk more than they have abortions.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was that guy's tweet. Yeah. Yep.
Like my views on abortion are not the party line. Like it's definitely not the law that we have
I'm with
in
you.
Florida. I think there is some gray area, stuff like that, but that's me. I really don't give a shit, but that's my opinion on it. I think there is gray area, So, but my thing is, what I don't understand is why would that be the most fucking important thing to somebody?
It's crazy.
Like out of everything that goes on in your life, why is that the most important? And it's like, oh, you're not a woman. Okay, I'm not a woman. I don't understand. Whatever. You know what I mean? What I can't understand is why the right to have an abortion would be the number one thing in your life over how much your food costs, how much your house costs,
Safety.
Your safety. Like I don't understand, right? I don't understand why, 70-year-old women, that's the most important thing to them.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of single issue voters out there. I mean, you could say the same thing about guns. There's a lot of people in the Second Amendment community who will only vote Second Amendment stuff. They don't care about anything else. I'm sure there's people in the Democratic Party that would say, why is your guns more important than democracy or, taxes for the rich or, whatever they think that the Republicans.
Because that's what I protect my family's life with. Like there's my argument.
They protect their body autonomy with. It's kind of, I mean, you can make that argument to them and they'll make that argument back to you. It's just some people are single issue voters and you may not understand why they are a single issue and I may not understand, they may not understand why we're single issue voters. I mean, there's a lot of single issue voters out there that they don't care about anything else. And it's just, you'll never be able to convince those people to change their mind. Like they would never be able to convince you to vote for, a Democrat who said they're going to take all your guns because they promise you, lower taxes or whatever. It's just one of those things where some people are like that.
Yeah, but it's like I'm not because now we're getting into the actual.
Well, yeah, it's just a single issue voter.
I think the safety of my family is something that should be a priority. That's it.
Yeah. Of course it should be. I mean, it could be, but some people say that they're protecting their family, their daughters from having raped children that they don't want to have or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of, again, without getting into the specifics about it, the political aspect of it is they put all their eggs, no pun intended, I guess, they put all their eggs in that basket and they miscalculated because he went up among women voters. He went up amongst young women voters. It was way down on the list for a lot of people of what was important compared to what, the Democrats thought. So they put all their eggs in that one basket and it was just a severe miscalculation. That whole campaign, the campaign was weird to me because what you clearly had was the one campaign was going after nobody but women. It was a she campaign. And then you kind of had the other campaign that was almost going after nothing but the bros. So it was a very gender oriented campaign between the two parties. And he just ended up getting more men out than she got women out. And more of the women thought the economic issues were more important to them than the abortion issue. So more of them crossed over than men crossed over the other side. But it was a very gender, for all the talk about we're a misogynist country and racist and all this other kind of crap. It really seemed to me to come down more to gender than anything else.
It's just
put my political hat on. But guns, never, you notice they were not a topic at all. Like nobody ever talked about guns. I mean, it came up in small snippets here and there because she had previously said she wanted to ban them, and then now she says that she didn't. And then of course you had dipshit who doesn't know how to load his hunting rifle, so you had some funny memes come out every now and then, but it wasn't talked about at all. Nobody talked about it in legislation. Nobody talked about it in voting terms. You didn't see any NRA people coming to the platform.
Bad to go against
stuff out of the platform, right? So even the Republicans didn't make it. I mean, they took it out of their platform at the convention for like the first time ever because it's just a topic that nobody. I think is good though, because if they're not talking about it, then
that's right.
At the worst, it's going to stay the same. When they're talking about it, that's when it gets worse for us. So if nobody's talking about it, then that's fine, because I don't think Trump really cares one way about the Second Amendment. He's not pro Second Amendment. He's not anti Second Amendment. Like he doesn't care, because he's kind of the same way about abortion. If you think about it, he's pretty moderate on abortion. Yeah. He's not like super pro life or whatever, because he doesn't care. Because like you're saying, what he cares about is the economy and immigration and all this other nonsense it's not important to him, and it's not important to a vast majority of Americans, which is why they didn't talk about any of that kind of stuff, and they just focused on economics and immigration, a little bit of transgender stuff, but that's kind of important to a lot of people. But in the long run, it was just people don't like where they are now. 70-something% of the country says we're on the wrong track. Well, when they say that, like the incumbent's not going to win. It's not possible.
I think they sacrificed her. They need somebody they could get rid of, right? That's obviously not going to be a good choice in the future. So they just said, what about her?
Well, they were stuck with her was the problem. Like because of their own identity politics, she was a DEI hire. We all know that. They picked her because she was a black woman. Like Joe Biden said that's why he picked her.
Not black.
And he picked her. So part black, Indian, whatever, Jamaican. So they were stuck with her because of their own identity politics. They couldn't bypass her. How in the hell could they bypass the black lady for like the white Jewish guy or the white pretty looking guy in California? Like they couldn't do it. Like they put themselves in that box and they were stuck. So they didn't have a choice. So it was clear, whether you want to call it sacrifice or not, they know she's an idiot. I mean, you saw that lip reading thing between Trump and Biden where they were like, yeah, she's got some problems and I don't think she's going to win. But they could not, or Biden and Obama, they could not bypass. They couldn't do it. They would get excoriated if they bypassed the black lady. And that's who she got the most. She got 90% of the black female vote. So like that paid off for them. But guess what? There's not a lot of black females in the country to make up for all the other people that you alienated by doing that. So the third happiest person on the planet is probably Gavin Newsom, because he didn't get picked, and now he's free to run.
He got hammered too.
Yeah, and now he's free to run in 4 years on a clean slate, probably against J.D. Vance if everything goes well the next 4 years. And so, a lot of those guys are happy they dodged a bullet too. The Josh Shapiro guy in Pennsylvania that they didn't pick because he was Jewish, because the Democratic Party is pretty anti-Semitic. He's probably thanking God that they didn't pick him as the vice president, and that they did go with Tim Walz, because now his political career is clean. Because if he would have been on that ticket and got spanked, then he'd have a black mark on him and he wouldn't be able to run again in like 4 years. So they did kind of pick the two biggest idiots and most sacrificial lambs in the Democratic Party and put them on the ticket, figuring who gives a shit.
Right. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But they still think they could just call Trump Hitler and they would win.
Right. Hitler and abortion. Like that, if they just said Hitler and abortion over and over again, they thought they had it, and they didn't do anything other than that, and they got their ass kicked.
I hear from my lefty friends. They still like say Russian collusion. They still say Trump's a racist. Right? They still say all the stupid shit that CNN told them to say like 4 friggin' years ago. It's like, I don't even like, how can you think like that? Come up with something better. let's have a conversation about something besides stupid bullshit that you think is true that was proven not to be. Oh, he put money. I can't remember what it was. Like he supported Putin and putting bounties on American soldiers' heads.
Right.
I'm like, sure he did.
And he
What
called
is
them
it?
all suckers and losers. He's at a
Suckers
war
and
memorial in front of like 10 generals, and he just calls all the dead people suckers and losers. Like who the fuck would believe that somebody's dumb enough to do that? Like come on. Even Joe Biden wouldn't do
Well,
that.
there are people out there that are dumb enough to believe that it happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's
it's
what
just-
I'm saying. Why would they think that somebody's dumb enough to say that? It's just none of it made any sense.
It's they want to believe it.
Oh, sure, of course.
You know, it's not that they're thinking logically. They hear it, that's what they want, and everybody repeats it. Like Nancy Pelosi said, it doesn't have to be true. We just got to say it.
Yeah. Say whatever you need to get to.
And that's what they did. That's the whole Nazi, you know, all this shit. Like, it's funny. My 13-year-old kid reads a book on World War II and then comes to me and says, the Democrats are doing the same propaganda stuff as the Nazis did when they were the brown shirts. I'm like, yes. You know, and he's 13 years old. Yes, granted, when he was in 6th grade, he finished 7th in the nation in history against 7th graders.
Yeah.
Yes, the kid knows a little bit about history.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's
But
always
he
been
reads
an MO. You accuse the other side of doing exactly what you're doing yourself. That's like right out of Rules for
Here's the
Radical.
deal. They've been using the brown shirt playbook for a while. You know, they're doing the whole separate, you know, get everybody against each other, you know.
Divide and conquer.
Just
Well, again, that's not necessarily Nazi. That's more of like a Rules for Radical Solinsky kind of thing. I don't like to call anybody Nazis except Nazis because they're unique in their evilness. But
I didn't. I said they were using
there's
brown
certainly,
shirt.
yeah, there are certainly a set of rules and protocols that you use when you want to achieve certain goals in a country, and they're certainly following the playbook. But didn't work out for him.
Now,
That's all that matters.
now we just all got to get on these guys and make sure they do what they said they were going to do. Because, I mean, this is the perfect storm for them to do what they said. You know, they either they're going to get the House or it's going to be really close, right? They got the Senate. They got this dream team of, from all sides.
Businesses.
You know what I mean? Like, they better do something.
Yeah.
They don't get a free friggin' pass. They better get to work now. I want you to get to work now on what you said you were going to do, right? There's no free pass. Like, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to be as hard as them as, I was on the dipshits that are in the White House right now. You know? And just, I want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to see
I agree.
You get, like, if you can't do what they said they were going to do with the team that they have, if they can't freaking do that,
Something's wrong if they can't.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, so what about what's coming up in March?
All right. So if you haven't heard, okay, the GSSF has blessed me with the Veritas Glock Challenge. And to show how much they love me, they said it could only be done on my birthday weekend. So
Nice.
that's what's happening. So March 29th and 30th at Manatee Gun and Archery, or the Manatee Gun Club, I think it's called now, right?
Yes.
All right. They will have the Veritas Glock Challenge, and everybody is going to be there in their Veritas shirt.
Nice.
Right? Or their Self-Defense Emporium shirt, or both, or shirts with both things on it. What the hell? Right? So,
And if you want to volunteer, right?
yeah.
Contact Julie Bales.
Yeah, so we'll get the link up there and get going. But what I'm looking for is people to set up booths. Like we want to see if we can get some food trucks out there, vendor booths, whatever. So if you got something you want to get it set up, give me a call. I'm going to start talking to the Manatee Gun Club and tell them, like, here's the deal. You have been blessed to put on a birthday party for me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a party. We'll probably most likely have a party at the Emporium on like Saturday night. All right. So that, you don't get all liquored up or whatever and have to shoot Sunday.
You can practice on the simulator.
There it is.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. If you have wanted to shoot the GSSF, but you've been too much of a pansy to do it, okay, now is it. Now is the time. So what we will do is we will set up classes. So we'll run a weekend class, whatever, to show you the rules of the GSSF, to show you how friggin' easy the GSSF is, all right, and stuff like that, so we can start getting everybody signed up.
And don't ask if you can use your SIG.
Yeah, Sean Hilton. All right, so it's stock lock. We will teach you all the rules. We'll teach you how to do it. We'll teach you the strategies, stuff like that, and just go out and have a good time. That's it. But let's make this the match, right, of the year for the GSSF. Let's make this the biggest, funnest match they have, right? Because every year I want to have a good birthday party.
Yeah.
All right. I think Tuesday night I will be on Shark Coast. I got to tell you, I went over and did the podcast with Will and the boys, and
me. And me.
Julie and I. let me speak.
Oh, okay. I'll drink. You speak.
Julie and I went and did it, and I got to tell you, like, first of all, Shark Coast, like, their shop, I hadn't been in there since they opened up the new one.
Crazy.
That is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in a gun shop. I'll tell you that.
Crazy.
I've never seen guns like that, rifles in a gun shop before. I've never seen them stacked on the wall, 3-4 deep, like just doom, 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 doom. It's pretty impressive. I ain't gonna lie. All right, the guys there treated us great. It was a lot of fun. So I'm interested to see what it looks like. But it was definitely a good time.
It was.
Right?
It's good.
They like made sure Julie got her questions in so that they could talk to her, and her, I got to tell you, Julie did a great job.
Thank you. It was fun.
It was very, very, very good job.
Yeah, I need to get back on there. I was supposed to be on during the hurricane week, and then it obviously got canceled. They haven't rescheduled yet, so we'll keep working on it. Yeah,
they invited us to come back. They really invited us to come back after we get the Emporium open, because they want to let me talk about the Emporium and stuff like that, which I just, I think is fantastic, and I really, really appreciate that.
That's nice.
So I want that. Sean's mailing me some Shark Coast stuff that he made for Will and stuff like that. But they treated us the best, and it was a really good time. So if you get a chance, check that out. I'll put up links so everybody can check it out and stuff like that. All right. So once again, let's thank the sponsors, and we'll get on to drawing the names. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. So remember, I'd like to thank our King sponsor, Johnny Custom Glocks, because life is way too short to have a Glock trigger that sucks. So get yourself a JCG, drop it in there, stuff like that. I got a friend, right, called me to tell me that he bought a used gun.
Just one, we know.
And it came in with a when he took it apart to look at everything, it came with a Johnny Custom Glocks in it.
Ooh.
Then his wife got one, and they sent him out a trigger sheet. They put one in hers too. And he just can't talk about it enough. And he is a big fucking deal in the gun world, even though nobody knows who he is, right? Because you just can't talk about him. That's why I'm not telling you his name. But he's like awesome, great friend of mine, and like just loves his JCG. And he is a big deal when it comes to guns and how they work and what's the best and stuff like that.
Nice.
So get yourself a JCG and drop it in there, right? Sean for always hooking us up from smokeshow3d.com.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, baby.
I love that.
So can't thank Sean enough for not only giving us the giveaways always, right, but sharing and liking so friggin' much that his name is like 95% of the people on the wheel. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna start playing Sean against the world.
Sean of the field.
So your goal is to get your name on the wheel enough that you actually have a chance of winning besides being the guy underneath Sean. All right, so that's the new goal, is to not just share once, but try to share it, 3, 4, 5 times or whatever, and get your name on a wheel so you can try to beat Sean. So everybody's goal from now on in life is to try to beat Sean.
Number of shares. He says, what was my share count tonight? He wants to know.
It's probably, I don't know. Gary says, you already know, you want to just make sure that she knows. All right. So that, I want to thank Jimmy Kemp for the awesome coaster set, and whoever wins that, you'll love that. And then the Self-Defense Emporium for giving up, the time on a simulator, which is friggin' awesome. All right. Like, I get invited out. My friend Mike invites me out to this thing I went to the other night. It was War Stories and Whiskey, and the speaker was phenomenal, right? He was phenomenal, right? And it was great. Free cigars, free whiskeys, and stuff like that. And I'm telling him, I'm showing pictures. You got to see the simulator. You got to see, it's friggin' awesome. You're gonna friggin' love it. So him and his wife come down the next day, and he walks in after me showing him pictures, showing him videos, try to explain how big it is, stuff like that. He walks, he goes, "Whoa, shit, it's big." I'm like, I spent a half hour explaining that to you last night. He goes, "Yeah, but you just can't get it in your head. Do you see a whole friggin' wall?" So, all right. So here we go. We're getting ready to spin that wheel. So like, share, and comment if you haven't already. But
this is for
here
the
we
stand.
go. This is for the stand.
Yep.
Let's see how small the. Oh, last minute submission. That's what I'm talking about. Get in there. Getting in under the wire. You know what I'm talking about.
Somebody making it their goal in life.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about right away. It's the motivation and the dedication and the discipline that I'm looking for.
Oh, I got a really cool mug at the Pirate House.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that wheel.
Maybe we can give that away too. I don't need it.
Okay.
The stand.
This is for the stand.
Stand.
In the place where
Burn.
Not spinning.
Oh, look at the names. John Hilton. No, spin it.
Spin the wheel.
I'm not getting cheated out of my wheel spin. Oh. Woo! Burn! Where it says, I've had enough of Sean shit.
Next is the block.
Yeah, you won Sean shit. All right. This is for the Armor's block.
Yes.
Sean against the world. World, 1. Sean, nothing. Oh, we're going 2-0.
Wow.
Maria. We got like 9 of these.
Good presents.
I thought the record was 1.
We're doing a
All right,
mug.
here we go. 2-0 world. What's this for?
A mug? Are we doing a mug or are we out of
Do we have
mugs?
enough mugs?
I don't think so.
All right.
Let's skip that.
Skip the mug. Keychain?
We can do keychain. Yeah.
All right. Keychain. World 2, Sean, nothing. I think Sean's going to come. Yep. Sean's going to come out punching on this one. Oh no. Burn again. No. Sean says, no. Fighting back.
Is it Lucy?
Yep. You got No, we can't make up the rule right now because Alicia's getting this
How
one.
do you spell her name?
Oycie. Chow.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, is it ski on the end of it? And ski on it. It just doesn't
Okay.
fit.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
Next is the coasters.
All right, so this is the one from Jimmy. So Sean can win this.
Mm-hmm.
Sean won World 2. He's down. He's looking for a tie.
Yeah.
He's looking for a tie. Just like the only thing I can win. He ain't going to get it. Corey's going to get it. Corey's going to get it.
Yep.
Corey gets it.
All right. Next is the 2 chances for the simulator.
All right. So 2 chances to win
A chance for the simulator.
to win an hour. Like 2 chances to
win on
you know
on the wheel, right? You got to do the wheel to get on another wheel.
So it's Sean won World 3. Sean can win. Sean gets 1 chance at this because Sean gets. What's that? Yeah, they're both for the hour. Ooh. Sean, tying it up. Oh no, it's not tied up. It's 2-3. Sean 2, World 3, right?
Yes.
All right, so he's got a chance.
Okay.
This is it. This may be World's only chance to win. That's all I'm saying.
Nope.
And he comes back to tie it up.
He pulled it out in the end.
No, he gets Kenny Johns.
Okay.
Kenny Johns gets it instead of Sean. Sean gets 1 chance. Sean gets free simulator time. So
Yeah.
he just
All right.
I just leave him on there in case he wins, so he can
Yeah.
actually win. But you know what? Let's give a mug away.
Oh, okay.
If I got to take one out of just to see if the world wins.
Okay.
I can't have a tie. I can't have a tie. So we're gonna give a mug away.
All right.
All right.
One
Even
more
if it's
spin.
one of mine. Spin it up. Let's see. Sean's fighting back. He got knocked down, but he gets up swinging. And he wins. Yeah, so Cat. The Cat gets it. All right.
All right.
But Sean wins 4-3 against the world. That means world, you're not trying hard enough. That's all I'm saying. We need the world to try harder. We got to unite against the superpower. He's like the empire. All right. What else we got to talk about, Jeff? Anything we got to say before we sign off?
Nope, I think we're good. We'll be
All right,
back
we got to
next
get out of
week.
here. We're 4
Tuesday,
minutes
like,
over.
share,
Everyone's got to
subscribe.
go.
Yada yada.
Like, share, surprise, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right.
Ring in America.
We'll see you guys. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for watching the show. We will see you next Thursday. Peace. Play music.
Bye.